anyone else here?
No.
Well, where is everybody? Shouldn't there be more people?
I wouldn't worry about it, it's just a drill.
The announcement specifically said this is not a drill.
It's part of the drill to say
Am I on the right floor? Is this the right floor?
I'm right where I should be.
What's your department?
Logistics and risk management. I'm Reinhart.
Oh, right, sorry, Meghan.
Yours?
My
Department.
wellness.
Pardon?
Wellness.
As in the financial wellness of the company or health and safety. If it's health and safety, why not just say health and safety?
Because it's wellness, as in the wellness of our employees.
Yeah, the ones who send the emails asking if I've recently kissed or otherwise shown affection toward my gender-neutral significant other. Or if I have too much gluten in my diet. Or if I feel like I'm losing my soul.
We've never asked if you're losing your soul.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, then you should know all about these drills. I used to have them on Friday afternoons.
I told you this is not a drill.
Well, then what's happening?
Somebody said it was a severe weather warning.
No, that'd be a take cover. We'd be down in the shelters by the cafeteria. No, it must be a gunman in the building. Or just a drill.
A gunman? Really? You think...
No. I know you from.
What? You know me?
You're familiar. I know of you. It's like knowing.
Well, how do you know of me?
Your boyfriend proposed to you at the baseball game. Ha! On the Jumbotron, and you hesitated.
Oh, I did not hesitate! I was surprised.
Everyone thought you hesitated.
Everyone in the stadium was looking at me. Have you ever had everyone in a stadium looking at you? Oh, it makes you hesitate. I mean, it surprises you. Damn it, how do you even know?
One of the social committee emails had a YouTube link. Now, the consensus in logistics and risk management was that you hesitated, and believe me, we're trained to spot it.
Well, I said yes, in case you didn't know, so I don't even know what the big deal is.
Of course you said yes. Who's going to say no with all those people watching? Oh, is that why your boyfriend, fiance, whatever, proposed to you at the baseball game? Huh? Kind of, hand you in?
No. I don't even know what you're talking about. He's a geek like that.
So, when's the big day?
Well, we haven't set a date.
More hesitation!
What is your problem? You are being super nosy, and I don't appreciate it.
I'm sorry, I just figured we're here in the safe
Well,
room.
this is borderline bullying.
Really? But not quite.
You stopped.
But it was probably a microaggression.
No, but mocking microaggressions is actually a microaggression.
Are you serious?
But you were nearly bullying me. I know, I'm captain of the bullying team.
Bullying team?
We have mental health teams in wellness. I was co-captain of the stress team, but the other co-captain was
Too big a bully?
Actually, yes. She wasn't open to new ideas.
So you were reassigned to the bullying team?
Captain of the bullying team.
Pardon me.
And I know you're making fun, but bullying is as much a problem in the workplace as it is in school.
So, would proposing marriage to someone in front of a packed stadium constitute an act of bullying? I'm asking for a friend.
If I were being honest, I would prefer that Duncan had my boyfriend, fiance, had proposed in a more private setting.
Like a crowded elevator. It's a joke. I'm only joking. It's just a joke.
That is what bullies say. They hurt your feelings and then backtrack. Well, I was only joking. Can't you take a joke? Jeez.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I'm actually glad Duncan proposed the way he wanted to. You know, we're opposites in some ways, and it's good to go out of my comfort zone. He has his own style, and that's why I love him. Are you married?
Oh, 7 years.
Kids?
A daughter, Gracie. She's 5.
Cute name. Where did you propose to your wife?
Hockey game.
Pardon me.
Hockey.
Hockey game! And you are making fun of me. Oh, on the Jumbotron?
Yes.
Did your wife hesitate?
A little.
But after she hesitated, did she say yes?
Yeah.
And she still loved you even though you gave her the shock of her life?
She said it was crass. Like reading Shakespeare on a cell phone.
Okay.
I think you just bullied me.
Yes, I did. What is that?
No reception. All right. Stay here. I'm going to find out what's going on.
Waiting is the worst. Why wouldn't Duncan propose to me at the riverfront? Or at Tallulah Cafe, or even in a car, for God's sakes. You know, being a lovable goof wears a little thin sometimes. Yeah. That's just Reinhart getting into my head. You know, I've heard about these logistics and risk management guys. They get in your head, and the next thing you know, you're confessing to embezzlement, Ponzi mongering, or making regular coffee in the orange handled decaf pod. What is keeping him? Ugh, waiting is the worst. I was like this as a kid, too. You know, no matter how my parents reassured me, I was terrified of going to bed at night. I mean, think of it from a kid's point of view. You've got Red Bull for blood, and at some point in the evening, just when TV is getting good, your parents say it's time to lie down, alone, in the dark, for 8 hours. Have a good sleep. Oh, I shouldn't make fun. My parents were great. So fucking Disney movies. Oh, good. Another movie where the main character's parents die and young, helpless children are left alone to fend for themselves in a cruel and unfeeling world. More, please. That's why I didn't want to go to bed. I was terrified my parents wouldn't be there in the morning. I didn't worry they'd abandon me, but thanks to kids' movies, I knew they could die. So I would sneak out of my room in the middle of the night and crawl into my parents' bed while they slept. They usually sent me back to my bed, but it was worth a try because sometimes they let me stay. I remember one time, I was all cozy and invincible between my parents and I had to pee. Well, nothing would have killed my chances of further incursions into their bed than peeing where I lay, so I nudged my dad awake and I said I had to pee, figuring he would whisk me into the bathroom and it would all be over and done with before I fully woke. Instead, Dad told me to go by myself. And I remember saying to him, I want you to come with me by myself. Reinhart would come back for me if something horrible happened, wouldn't he? Yes, I think he would. Like those guys on 9/11 who carried a woman in a wheelchair down 81 floors. People do things like that. But Reinhart, he doesn't strike me as a hero. Well, he may be a douche, but he's not a complete turd. I suppose this would be one of those times when other people would pray. I never understood prayer. If God has a master plan, why would anyone waste their time asking him to change it? Who could be so conceited? Oh, like everybody. When I was in high school, whenever I got stressed, I would pray to my grandmother. Not really pray, but ask, Grammy, what would you do? Because she was an eccentric old soul. Who am I kidding? She was crazy. Whenever we visited, she'd smell our breath. If one of the grandkids had bad breath, she'd give them an enema. And somehow our parents were okay with that. You know, my older cousins knew this, so they all chewed gum before going to the door. It only took me that one time. So Grammy lived in this crazy town, where the only industries were funeral homes and cemeteries. The Pet Cemetery was in a documentary in the 70s. When I was a kid, they moved a bunch of graves for some reason. One of them contained a clear glass coffin with a woman in her 20s inside. buried in her wedding dress. She died of a fever or something in the 1890s and lay perfectly preserved in her glass tomb. At one point, the workers bumped it. They must have cracked it, because by the time they got it to the new grave, the woman's body had turned to dust.
Give me a sec.
Is anybody around?
I got down to 7.
7, what's on 7?
As far as I got it.
Did you see anything?
No, the stairwell doors are all locked and the elevators aren't working.
Locked, why? Who would do that? Why would they lock this?
I have no idea. I tried my cell phone, but there's no reception.
I got reception, but there's no news. No fire or gunmen, so that's good. Just those rumbling sounds.
Well, there's no fire, at least the alarms you're ringing.
Not necessarily.
What?
Some employees in the building suffer from ignoterrophobia.
You see that like it's a thing.
It's an irrational fear of fire alarms. Well, it's not like I made it up. It wasn't even my project.
So, what are you saying? Management disconnected the fire alarms? Because they few snowflakes are afraid of them going ding ding ding?
Management was exploring alternate options. I don't know what the final decision was.
Whatever. I didn't smell any smoke. I wonder.
Yes?
If this drill has anything to do with Takeover Day.
Takeover Day.
Didn't Wellness get the news? We were purchased by a Korean consortium last year.
I guess. Were we?
Yes, and our new Korean overlords.
Oh, that is so racist.
What is Korean?
Calling them overlords.
Really? I think they take it as a compliment. Anyhow, they take possession of us today.
Korean Consortium. Is that the name of the overlord, the new bosses?
No. No, we were purchased by an actual consortium that is based out of Korea. It's not racist to say Korea, is it? Well, it'll be interesting to see what the culture change brings.
What's that supposed to mean? Aren't Koreans people, too?
They certainly are. They are people who, in various numbers, believe in haunted bathrooms, ghost money, and fan death.
Since when are you such an expert on Korean culture?
A friend of mine spent a couple years there teaching English.
Fan death.
Some Koreans, I'm not saying all of them, believe that running an electric fan in a closed room can lead to death.
What is that? Haunted bathroom. What's above us?
Probably a maintenance floor.
What can be making those sounds? It's like something's rolling through the ductwork.
You know, I read that in the weeks before 9/11, people heard strange noises like that.
What's that supposed to mean? Why would you say that?
I'm sorry, I just thought...
Well, I don't want to think about that right now.
Fine,
Ugh, why don't they make another announcement?
Yeah, because it's probably just a drill. Except the elevators aren't working. And the doors to the stairwell are all locked.
Down to the ground floor?
To 7, at least. I didn't go any farther.
Why not?
I was afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what?
That I wouldn't come back.
When you come... You came back for me. Oh!
Well, I'm hardly going to abandon the captain of the bullying team. We're our new overlords. Are you going to be sick?
I have to pee, if you really need to know.
Then go if you need to. There's a restroom down the hall.
Is it open?
I didn't check. There's a pot of plant near the elevator if it's not. You know, from a risk management perspective, safety drills are ridiculous. We do just as well to take our chances in an actual emergency. We can't, of course, insurance and all that, but when you consider the risks inherent in emptying a building of several hundred employees, you've got falls, panic attacks, twisted ankles, a seizure or two, PTSD. That's the twilight zone of risk management. The injuries that occur during drills designed to keep people safe. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Management demands drills, but they don't provide a code for building the lost time. There's probably a code for changing printer toner, but for safety drills, go figure. So it all gets lumped into our projects. You'd think accounting would be up in arms about that. That's their problem. Now they probably budget an extra 5 minutes into every project just for this sort of thing. I wonder, what was the caveman equivalent to budgeting? Back in the day when the calorie was the most valuable commodity in the world. Now we're a race of human batteries, walking around with enough cumulative stored energy to produce a supernova. Thank you, beer, Cheerios, bonbons. Every era has its symbol. The cavemen had their clubs and killer abs. The Middle Ages had its religious iconography. The Renaissance gave us the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. The symbol of our time will be cell phone. Crack pipe. Flip-flops. If any of it survives, that is. I've read that ours will be the least remembered era in recorded history because our entire culture is saved on magnetic media. It's permanent as scribing the Gospels on an etch-a-sketch. Would it really be such a tragedy if Facebook and YouTube went the way of the 8-track tape? What future race needs the complete episodes of Full House? Or a compendium of arena football? One thing's for certain. Logistics and risk management will survive. People laugh, but it will. Logistics, and the name, yes, it's clunky, it's corporate, but logistics is the art of making shit work across vast expanses. Alright, it's 10,000 BC, and I kill a mastodon, the animal, not the band. Lying at my feet is enough meat to feed my family for an entire winter. One problem. How do I get it back to my cave? Well, I can enlist my family or my tribe to haul it back, bit by bit, and then store and try to preserve it. And that's logistics. Hell, logistics has probably been around as long as prostitution. I am part of the world's oldest, albeit less glamorous, profession. Think about it. You get a guy who wants to get laid. He's got some tradable commodity, and he finds a woman who's willing to accept a portion of that commodity in exchange for having sex with him. Before there's any sex, however, logistics must be worked out. Where? When? How long? How much? Well, anyway, logistics is the art of making shit work. And in today's world, that's something. Is the potted plant still a virgin?
The restroom was open, if you really need to know. Hey, I heard talking in here.
Yeah, I was thinking out loud. So, now that you're no longer... Let's get out of here.
What, leave the safe room?
Yeah, there's no emergency.
I got reception on my phone in the ladies' room.
Any news?
Nothing about what's happening here.
Are they withholding bad news to prevent panic?
We should stay here. You want to take a risk of running into a gunman? There could be multiple gunmen in the building. We don't know.
There could be a bomb in the building. Do you want to be around when that goes off?
A bomb threat would trigger an evacuation. This is a shelter in place.
What about the noises above us? Huh? They're probably remote-controlled bomb disposal robots driving through the ductwork.
I don't think so.
Somebody just made the wrong call, sending out the shelter in place rather than the evacuation order. This makes me think of 9/11.
Really?
Oh.
Yes. Yes!
After the first plane hit the World Trade Center, people started evacuating. And then building management made an announcement saying that everything was all right and people should return to their desks.
No.
People have gotten it that wrong. This is how they work. They plan in the dark. They're utterly devoid of conscience. They're zealots.
Who?
Terrorists!
Terrorists?
What do you think? The worst thing in the world is somebody being body shamed in the cafeteria? Huh? Microaggressions? Eating gluten? What, you don't think it can happen here? What's protecting us? A wall of spineless bureaucrats racked with guilt over being born in the first world? They turn Merry Christmas into Happy Holidays. They turn Halloween into Black and Orange Day because they're afraid that people fleeing festering hellholes might be offended by the sight of kids having fun with candy and costumes and gourd vegetables.
Actually, pumpkins are considered a fruit.
Right! Because that's what I'm talking about!
Yelling!
Don't you watch the news? Don't you care about the world outside of the bowling team?
You lost your mind?
Have you lost your mind?
Don't come near me. I will use my rape whistle.
I'm sorry. I lost my head.
If you want to leave, then leave. I'm not stopping you. And I'm sorry, but you are a racist.
Racist?
Uh-huh.
Racist? Are you kidding me?
No. Didn't you hear yourself going on about zealots?
I'm talking about zealots of all stripes. They're probably zealots for White Castle hamburgers, and I would find them as odious as anyone else. It's just, they don't tend to go around killing people. All you got is a hammer.
What's that?
I'm just pondering. Makes sense you think that. When all you've got is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Meaning?
When you're captain of the bullying team, every statement you don't agree with sounds like bullying.
But I'm calling you a racist, not a bully.
Same thing, and it's absurd.
What, you're constitutionally incapable of racism?
First of all, racism is too limited.
What?
I need the freedom to hate anyone I choose.
Oh, okay, so you're all about freedom of choice. Got it.
I was an adorable child. I know that's a draggy thing to say. Old ladies used to come up to me and my parents in restaurants. Strangers used to offer to buy me dessert, and they all said the same thing. Oh, he's so cute.
What happened?
I don't know. For the first 6 or 7 years, I was in the zone. And people would bend over backwards to do things for me. And then I can't help but think it's something I did that made it all go away.
So what? You missed the participation trophies? Or was your white male entitlement card recently rejected? That was mean. But you were mean too.
Let's go back to the safe room. Nothing good can come from standing in the corridor.
about Koreans believing in haunted bathrooms and ghost money. What's that about? And don't tell me if it's racist.
Well, I don't know about the haunted bathrooms, but the ghost money is a good story. Well, interesting. Right. Back in the 80s, the daughter of some high official at the Korean Mint was kidnapped and dismembered.
That's horrible.
Yeah, well, her killer was never found. So, to appease the girl's restless ghost, parts of her body were incorporated into images on the currency.
That's awful.
Nothing gory. But apparently on some bills you can see a pair of line art feet. On others there's a hand, and on some bills the girl's name, Min, is hidden. You know, like the naked people in the cigarette packaging that we learned about in school?
Okay, I'm sorry I asked.
Working in wellness, you must have access to personnel files. Outside of IT, you probably have more dirt on everybody in the company.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on. Between you and me, who's the biggest head case in the company?
Oh, you're unbelievable.
Come on, I bet you go home to Daniel and tell Duncan whatever and tell him all the dirt.
Dirt. We don't keep dirt on people. There are people here working through some very serious issues. You think I'll let you laugh at their pain? You're sick.
I don't want to laugh at anyone's pain.
Okay, a call center operator came in late one morning, passed a man in the parking garage who was sitting in his car weeping. She agonized all day about coming to Wellness about it. I never found out who the man was. Is that funny?
I'm not asking to know who's on suicide watch. I'm just wondering, what do you have in the bathroom sleeper on 14?
Bathroom sleep? What, on 14?
Yeah, Joyce sees her every day.
Joyce, you said that like I should know.
My supervisor. Anyhow, apparently there's a couch in the ladies' room. Why are there couches in ladies' rooms? Is that some old-timey thing? Like boiling water when a woman's about to give birth? Put a couch in the ladies' room in case someone feels overcome by the vapors? Anyway.
I have no idea.
Well, Joyce sees her every day.
Well, maybe the poor woman's a new mom.
No. Joyce pointed her out to me. She looks like a cross between Phyllis Diller and Alice Cooper.
Oh my God. You are so mean.
What? This woman sleeps at work. I'm going to be nice to her?
Attacking someone based on their appearance. Sleeping in the ladies' room.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
I should start a file.
You can do that?
I work in wellness. You'd be surprised what we can do. You know, I didn't always want to be in wellness.
Really? Seems like a good fit.
I wanted to be a teacher.
What happened? You'd be a great teacher.
Two realizations. Baby boomers are going to live to be 1,000 years old, and they're going to work until they die.
Well, I cannot argue with you there. So you can really open a file on somebody?
Well, the department's full title is Wellness and Support Services. Part of our mandate under the Support Services heading is being an investigative arm of HR.
I did not know that. So, tell me some stories.
Stories.
From the files! Who's been caught in the cubicle with a sex doll? Who's been photocopying their junk after hours?
You're ridiculous.
You don't have to name
No,
names.
stop! We are governed by privacy laws. But sometimes we need context.
Who was it who did a nude run through the cafeteria? Was it Trainer? Or was it Dignan? Anyhow, word is one or both of them at a crack up isn't around anymore.
I don't want to talk about it.
Or was it Sapodarnis from Options and Analysis? Word is he did strange things whenever he was alone in the elevator.
I don't know.
Man, they grind people into paste in Options and Analysis. See them in happy hour like booze pinatas, just beating themselves until they explode into a shower of shit candy.
Some people struggle with sobriety. It's easy to scoff when the worst problem you have is finding the right balance of caramelic tint in your hair gel.
Was that a shot? Alright. Okay, and seeing the world through your wellness lens, you can instantly spot the lost souls? You'd be surprised who struggles with sobriety.
What, you? I'm being nosy. I didn't mean to pry.
You think I walked into this building 5 years ago a fully formed yuppie?
No, If there's one thing we learn in wellness, it's that everyone has a story.
Long Island iced tea was my poison of choice, if you're wondering.
I wasn't. But if we're just talking, can I ask you why you quit?
Oh, take a pick. The money, the hangovers, the lost jobs, the ultimatum.
From your wife. Well, good for you. I had an uncle who was an alcoholic. It looked like a tortured existence. I bet you feel better.
I hate it.
What?
Sobriety, it sucks.
Well, I'm sure you have good days and bad days.
No. For me, sobriety is like sitting in the sun. It's warming and pleasant for a while. Soon, though, I'm too warm, and the light hurts my eyes. If I seek shade, people say, oh, that's just a crutch. If I put up my hand to shield my eyes, they say, you're just running away from your problems. I just need some relief from the sun glaring down on me.
And what keeps you sober?
My family, I guess. I don't want Gracie to have a drunk dad. But honestly, all right. When I was a kid, my younger brother and I would have these contests, endurance contests, sword.
Okay.
You'll laugh.
I won't.
We used to see who could go the longest without eating a D or T in their alphabet cereal.
So I'm not.
I know, it's stupid. It's stupid, I guess.
Yeah.
Or we'd see who could go the longest without drinking pop. And one day, soon after I got the ultimatum, I realized it had been a week since I had a drink. So I wondered if I could make it 2 weeks. Because it's not as though I was drinking at work or sneaking out to the garage at home. It's just, whenever I started drinking, I couldn't stop. So I stopped starting, if that makes sense.
It does.
Are you going to be sick?
What? No. These drills always happen when I'm on my period.
Oh, why do women have to talk about their business?
Business? Are you serious? Half the Earth's population has gone through this once a month since the beginning of human history. Get over yourself.
Yes. Well, the other half prefers not to hear about it.
Wow.
Look, how do we... I don't want to talk about this.
You sound like one of those arch conservatives who believes men need to control women's bodies because we're too fragile and unpredictable.
I don't believe any such
thing.
I
bet you listen to the Ralph Liberty Hour of Liberty.
In fact, I do.
Figured.
What about it?
Duncan's dad listens to Liberty. You guys all work off the same script. Oh, we gotta run government like a business. What are we gonna do with all these immigrants? Cut my taxes, I'm just a humble billionaire.
Why do you have to ruin our pleasant conversation by bringing politics into it?
Pleasant? You made me feel like Quasimodo because I menstruate.
The luck I have. Trapped with a snowflake, so rarefied, shall be locked in the basement of Fort Knox. Hey, what does Duncan do for a living? Hostage negotiator? Taxidermist.
Why? So you can make more jokes?
I'm curious.
He's a designer.
A fashion designer? An interior designer?
A graphic designer. He's working on a comic book series. Why do you care?
I was just wondering if Meghan, We Are the World Wellness Champ, had a grounding influence at home. I guess not.
You don't know anything about my life.
Well, I imagine. Duncan designs radical environmental bumper stickers. Stuff like, not using that air, are you? The tree number slap on the back of Humvees.
Okay, you would take pot shots at the arts because nothing terrifies a conservative more than feelings. What's next? Call me a bleeding heart liberal? accuse me of being a
If
socialist?
the bleeding heart fits the socialist.
Yeah, bleeding hearts. Because I don't think people should be reduced to eating out of garbage cans, or because I don't think we should become destitute paying for healthcare. Hey, did you drive to work on private roads this morning? And no private schools.
Let me guess. You believe in giving clean needles to drug addicts. Hmm? Oh, and rehabilitating criminals with hugs and knitted sweaters. And you probably can't have enough gay people. Because isn't that what the world needs? More bicycle paths and more gays who feel no shame about being gay in all its multifarious forms, anytime, any place. Oh, and the religion of peace is just a misunderstood group of fun-loving humanists who want to buy the world a Coke.
Wow. Just... wow.
A little too close to home.
It's shocking how much you sound like Ribberty.
You listen to him?
Yeah, on occasion. I am a sucker for absurdity, particularly Ribberty's pronouncements like, the liberal brain is misshapen. It's a scientific fact.
Maybe you just can't admit that Ribberty is right. Or that I am.
No. Look, who cares if people are gay, straight, or otherwise? That is none of our business. Handing out clean needles to addicts is one of the worst ideas that I've heard, except it works. It doesn't encourage drug use, and it keeps addicts from spreading diseases. Or would you prefer more Hep C and HIV in the community? And the religion of peace, well, you're a racist. As for criminals, we definitely need creative sentencing when it comes to nonviolent crimes, but people who harm children and women, I say hook their nuts up to a car battery and put the pedal to the metal.
People who harm women and children hook up their nuts, presuming, of course, that it's always men who commit the crimes, right? Because crimes against some people are just inherently worse, and crimes against others, say, men? Well, that's just a cost of doing business in an imperfect world. No big deal.
Don't tell me. Oh, that would make sense. Hey, are you one of these butthurt men's rights guys who thinks white men are an endangered species suffering such injustices in the world? White men who have had a disastrously disproportionate influence over this world from which women never...
Please stop! You don't cut!
Were you gonna call me a cunt?
What? No, of course not.
You were. You coward! Well, what's stopping you? It's just the two of us here.
It's so bright in here. I need to get my bearings. Right, now then. From a risk management perspective, this conversation can only get worse.
What?
My recommendation as an intermediate member of the office conversation de-escalation team
There's no such
is
thing.
that lacking the presence of an independent adjudicator, all judgments and pronouncements from the involved parties be considered tainted and biased, but not maliciously so.
Are you for real?
Chief aggravating factor, stress. I think we can both agree this is a very stressful situation, and that momentarily, I'm sorry.
Do you make speeches like this at home? Oh, I was right about you.
All judgments
You
and
can be
pronouncements
a douche, but you're not a complete turd.
All right. Are you going to be sick?
No! I have to pee.
Again?
Clearly you've never been a woman.
Well, then go with me to what's stopping you.
You won't leave without me.
What?
But you'll be here when I get back.
What would you... Right. Yes, I will be here.
You can come into the washroom if you want. I just mean, you could stand inside the doorway because I'm afraid of being alone. You could sit on the couch.
I'll wait for you here.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. You can come into the washroom if you want. The girl has lost her mind. No. No. She just doesn't want to be alone. Don't even blame her. Phones aren't working, we're hearing sounds. The doors to the stairwell are all locked. That bothers me. washroom if you want. Yeah, it reminds me of Gracie. Climbing into bed with me and Sheila a few years ago. Gracie woke me up and said she had to go to the washroom. She'd been toilet training, doing pretty well, so I asked her to go by herself. And she said to me in her sleepy voice, I want you to come with me by myself. What was I thinking taking pot shots at Megan's hubby? I gotta get a handle on things. And Christ, how did I get talking about gay people? My best buddy growing up came out in high school, and yeah, I resented him. Only because the girls I wanted to date all hung out with him. Oh, she provoked. Oh, she plays the mousy little wellness minion, but I think old Meghan has the makings of a veritable cubicle tyrant! She's captain of the bullying team, by God. She could make things very difficult, at any rate. So, can't let her push my buttons. Christ, when did I lose my edge? I never had an edge. All right, one thing's for certain. We have to get out of here. All right. Okay. What could be happening? Come on, man. You're with logistics and risk management, for Christ's sake. Okay. Let's review. Something happened somewhere. Something that prompted a shelter in place. Now, if I could just remember my training, which I barely do, because of that simpering tit in his PowerPoint presentation. I know. She was always saying, don't be so hard on people. But how can you not? They're people, for Christ's sake. All right. Shelter in place is called when hazardous materials are released into the atmosphere. Oh. Or someone an unauthorized person, 4 persons, has entered the building and presents an imminent threat. It's funny how the simp glossed over this in his presentation, making it sound like somebody's spouse bumbling in through a side door to deliver a bag of sardine sandwiches. No, it means gunmen. Gunmen. Crazy people. Dangerous, crazy people. Who? A disgruntled ex-employee. A disgruntled current employee. Or back to a generic crazy person. Somebody opposed to the company being taken over by a foreign consortium. Crazy person will be utterly unpredictable. And that's assuming, of course, that the shelter in place isn't a mistake. I mean, we've got our life in the hands of PowerPoint. I can't get that 9/11, everything's okay, return to your desks announcement out of my head. It's time to make a move.
Said, you can come into the washroom if you want. Oh my God, what was I thinking? You can come into the washroom if you want. You can come into the washroom if you want. You can come into the washroom if you want. You can come into the washroom if you want, because I have lost all control of myself and forgot that I'm an adult who can solve problems. And right now, my biggest problem is waiting in a climate-controlled office with no windows in a modern office building in a modern city in a first-world country where I'm never more than 75 feet away from the vending machine. God! I'll say I was worried the washroom was haunted. Oh my God, what was I thinking? was stupid. Well, this is a glitch. What did I expect? He works in logistics and risk management. He weighed the risks and he took off. I was gone 10 minutes. He saw his chance to ditch me. I'm surprised he lasted this long. He'll be in HR first thing in the morning if he's not there right now, laying the groundwork against me and sue. The immortal captain of the sexual harassment team shall have a field day taking my case to her coven. No, he wouldn't dare. After all, it would be Reinhardt's word against mine, and who's going to believe him over me?
So, it all comes out.
Where were you? I thought you left me.
I was checking the meeting rooms for other people.
And?
Planning to go to HR? Thought we agreed that we lost our heads, but all's cool now. Is all not cool?
I was worried. I thought that we need to get out of here.
What, like leave?
Yes, leave. You have been arguing for that all along.
I've been thinking, we're safe right here.
You're kidding. You have been trying to convince
Let me think. All right. I've re-examined theories we discussed, weighed our options, analyzed all outcomes, probed all known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns, and arrived at the safest, smartest solution.
Which is?
We stay here.
You can't be serious.
Look, the potential gunman/gunmen scenario clinches it, i.e. too many unknown unknowns. The X factor of the Nichols-Kosakowski unpredictability matrix is off the charts.
Yeah. But everything you said about 9/11...
No, just game theory suggests no move is the best move. I will tell you one thing. When this is finally over, I will be making a full report to the proper internal authorities.
Who? HR?
Oh, no, this is orders of magnitude above HR. I'm going to health and safety, and perhaps the ombudsman.
The ombudsman?
Yeah, to trap two people in a room like this, no information, no communications, nothing but a bloody PowerPoint for training, given by syphilitic homunculus. You can't do this to people!
Okay, be careful. Remember what we say in wellness. Think twice before you hit send.
This is so much more than an email. I'm writing a memorandum. No, you're right.
About what?
No one will listen to me.
What? No. You work in logistics and risk management. People will listen. The ombudsman will listen.
No, not a chance. You know, I once overheard Joyce refer to me as an aging frat boy. No, you're right. You could write the memo.
What, me? No way. Memos are way above my grade.
You're perfect. You work in wellness. You're imbued with an aura of honor and goodwill. You're captain of the bullying team.
I don't know.
And I can help you write it. Hell, I can write the memo for you if you'd like.
Because I'm just a dumb girl who couldn't possibly be smart enough to write it on my own?
No, you seem uncertain.
And you are going to save the damsel in distress.
It came out wrong.
Bobblehead. I'm speaking to a bobblehead. Hey, what do you have against gay people?
What do you have against white men? Oh, yeah, I know about you. What do you know?
You have been scaring me to death ever since I walked in here talking about 9/11, and you're smearing insults against my husband. Fiancé! And the religion of peace. Hey, if you're so well versed in the ways of the world, has it ever dawned on you that the 9/11 attacks were an inside job?
What?
What do you think? The worst thing in the world is losing at fantasy football or the cafeteria running out of energy drinks?
You were completely unhinged.
Oh, sure. I'm just an hysterical girl. My thoughts are made to be laughed at, dismissed, waved away. Patronize me! Silence me! Feed me cold cereal to quell my uterus!
From a logistics and risk management perspective, that's fucked.
Breathe. Find your center.
It's going to take a lot more than that.
What did you say?
Losing my edge. You appear to be losing your grip.
Mindfulness. You should try it.
There's no place for that in risk management.
An uncluttered mind wouldn't be helpful in assessing risk. You would know better than I.
You know, I hate to break it to you, but Buddhism's bullshit.
Believe whatever you want.
You know, don't even get me started on the Buddha's obesity. What I can't abide is the idea that we're all supposed to deep breathe our lives away beneath a banyan tree. Huh? Sure, I prefer not to burn through stress points looking for a parking spot at the mall or waiting in line at the supermarket, but human beings have such a wide palette of emotions. We were created to feel things. It's like seeing the diversity of food in the world and opting to exist on bread and water. It's stupid. And what does the adherent attain after bringing his thoughts and desires to a screech halt? Huh? Paralyzing all dreams, drowning all ambition. What does he achieve after bringing the entire human enterprise to a complete and utter halt? He supposedly enlightened.
Who the fucking hell asked you?
Come on. I knew you'd find a way to get me into the ladies' room.
Maybe security is doing a sweep.
That's military issue footwear. Building security wears hush puppies.
How would you know that?
Well,
Were you in the military?
no. I'm a Black Watch colonel in Forward Command.
Forward Command? The video game?
I hate to brag, but I'm a tier 4 gamer.
Oh my god.
Something wrong with it?
Duncan plays Forward Command. You wouldn't believe the time he wastes on that stupid video.
Stupid! It's the closest thing to combat!
Yeah, brings all the blood and guts right in your living room. Hooray!
Duncan plays?
Yeah. Your only Black Watch? Duncan's alert with 4 blood clusters.
A 4 blood cluster?
Say that again. It just means he wastes way too much time on a stupid
Stop!
video game.
Stop! I won't let you badmouth all the brave.
No, hands out my life! Look at you make this argument. What are we even talking about? You made us run away from possible help because you play video games? What are you, 12 years old?
Figured you wouldn't understand.
Wait. I'm a vegan. I have voted in every election since I was 18 and I drive a hybrid car. Don't tell me I wouldn't understand. I bet you have all kinds of man pictures pinned up in your virtual locker. Duncan has one of a Vietnamese prisoner being shot in the head. Sick. He said it was famous, whatever. Can only guess what you've got. Some classics from Abu Ghraib. Maybe something from a school shooting, or maybe... I know. Given your admiration for the religion of peace, I bet some pictures of drowned migrants who died trying to get to Europe. You know, given your affinity for laughing at other people's pain.
Like Alan Curdy,
Who?
the little boy on the beach.
Okay, look, I probably shouldn't have said that.
It was me. Your story about the call center operator.
You're just saying that. How sick can
I was
you be?
catching up on fantasy football when Joyce, Christ, I'd never seen her so shaken. She asked me if it was our fault. I had no idea what she was talking about. She said something about Syrian migrants. There had been more drownings. All summer long, news stories, boats capsizing in the Mediterranean. And Joyce wanted to know if it was our fault. How could it be our fault? What was our fault? I come to work every day. I take the garbage out every week. I pay my taxes. I do every mundane thing required of me. What could be my fault? And she sent me a link to the story, and I saw it. I saw him, the little boy washed up on the beach. Jesus Christ. He lay in the surf like he was sleeping. He has a shirt and his shorts and his little shoes. That's all I could do not to fall apart at the desk. But next thing I knew, I was hurrying through the office. I was in the parking garage. I was in my car. Jesus Christ. If there's any kind of benevolent deity overseeing this universe, how can such things exist? Huh? I looked around in the car for something to wipe my eyes. And one of Gracie's sweatshirts was in the back seat. And that was the end of me. I buried my face in that shirt and I wept. Who would be against that little boy being here, safe, in school, celebrating Black and Orange Day? I bet his parents wouldn't give a shit if Halloween was called Halloween or the Festival of Samhain or any other. I'm tired of shit. I'm sick of hiding.
Reinhart, wait, Reinhart!
Who are you? What do you want? Why are you in hazmat suits?
I saw her.
What?
The bathroom sleeper. I'm 14. Hey, you okay?
I heard we were observed. Corp Int had people in some of the safe rooms.
Corp Int.
Corporate intelligence. Don't they tell you anything in wellness?
Wait, you think we were observed? Oh, yeah, right! Little Meghan from Wellness, whose boyfriend from Beyonce proposed to her on the Jumbotron as a spy for Corp Inc.
Corp Int.
What? Wait, are you?
Joyce says the overlords want to know why I missed the exercise as a shelter-in-place delta symbol and not just a shelter-in-place. Well, I know what the email alert said. It's been altered somehow. Somebody's changed my email.
A shelter in place. Delta symbol.
The go-home code.
I thought evacuation was the go home code.
Evacuation is evacuate the building, wait the perimeter of the property. No one in the Brain Trust realized that we needed a go-home code, so they didn't create one. Well, no, they did. Shelter-in-place delta symbol.
Wait, why wouldn't the go home code be go home?
What? They were their perfect system.
Who can keep up with all those?
The overlords are very curious how someone in logistics and risk management missed the delta symbol. But I didn't miss it. It wasn't there.
So you were right. It was just a drill!
No, didn't you? Of course you didn't. Leadership cleared the building so the new CEO could send in a biohazard team. Hence the merry troop of masked thugs I ran into in the corridor.
There was a biohazard in this building?
No. The new CEO is a germaphobe with certain ideas about North Americans' level of cleanliness.
A germaphobe? Huh. So, When are you taking me to lunch?
Joyce is moving up, and I was being considered for her supervisory position.
Congratulations! Then I will take you to lunch.
I missed the Delta symbol, and now the promotion's at risk.
Well, if you don't get this promotion, then next time.
No. The overlords have instituted a new policy. If you miss or decline a promotion, there's no going back to your old job. You're out. I'm out. Potentially.
Oh.
If it's just a job, I wouldn't care, but Sheila, the ultimatum. I'm up Schitt's Creek if I lose another job.
Oh. Hey, how was your debrief?
Oh. Yeah, the new people are doing it. Seemed like a waste of time communicating to their friends.
Wait, no, I thought that Carol from Health and Safety was handling the lessons learned sessions.
No, it's one of the Koreans in a translator. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'll call you when you're done. Towsley, Meghan, Corp Int ID Epsilon 2721. Apparently the cell phone jammer I was issued was intended for exterior locations and interfered with the safe room recording device. I'm here to make a preliminary verbal report. Subject, Reinhart Barton, Logistics and Risk Management. Employee in good standing with 5 years, 4 months. Subject exhibited various emotional fluctuations during the exercise, all deemed to be within the XY range. Story and supporting email involving my fiancé proposing to me at a sporting event had the desired effect. Certainly. Shall I run through them? Dooley Noonan parallax facade, Dunning-Kruger variables, 4D asymmetrical quandary scenarios, Mislov's 9 provocations. Well, 7 of them, at least. Chang, Smith, Patel, Murphy, cultural acclimatization gamut. Yes, I heard about Mulcaster. Very unfortunate. But of 27 test subjects, amazing there was only 1 major injury. Yes, I signed the card for him, thank you. Certainly, I'm here to answer questions. Yes, in fact, that was entirely true. My grandmother did come from a town where the sole industry was funeral services. Wait, how did you know about my grandmother? What are you saying? Redundant recording devices. Impervious to the jammer. I assumed everything was operational. Is this some kind of test? My resignation. The exercise was the most intensive observation we have ever done. What is this, like, cut the hand off the worker once the great building is completed? Please don't translate that. Thank you. It's just that I don't understand. I need a moment to process this. Yes, I take full responsibility. As my team lead can explain, one of my strengths is actually losing myself, partially momentarily, during an observation encounter. Realism is of the utmost importance. Still, I take full responsibility for asking Reinhart to come into the washroom with me. I have no desire to be difficult. I understand the agreements I've signed and will honor them, of course. If I can't say anything to save myself, may I at least say on Reinhardt's behalf, he is a truly unique blend of alpha soldier heretic. He is skeptical of the takeover, but he is not a derailer. Personally, I think he can be leveraged into a profoundly effective believer, which may help with the coming culture shift. I would strongly recommend keeping him on board. Maybe I can offer one piece of information to save my position. I know which bathrooms are haunted.